Okay, this is the first video in a series of videos I'm going to do on taking knives apart, cleaning them, and maintaining them. First video I'm doing is a very easy one. This is the Kershaw Atmos. Look out in the next couple of days for my video on this. This is a Smith & Wesson M&P2. Might do a takedown video on this one. This is pretty complicated though, so it'll be a pretty long video if I do. So, how this is going to work is I'm going to take the knife apart, clean it, put it back together. Try to do it quickly so the videos don't take forever to upload. This will be the first and the only time I explain how it's going to work. I'll just do it. When I get materials out, I will try to show you what they are and if I remember how much they cost. Okay, here we go. This Kershaw Atmos. And if you've never taken a knife apart, you can take this as a helping video like that. It's helpful to have a towel down when you're doing this so you don't lose parts. Like a screw on a hard surface will bounce. Here it just kind of stops. Same if you have any knives with ball bearings. This is a T8, that was a T6. It's helpful just to have, you know, a surface you can drop a part on and not have to worry about it rolling away. Here's the knife coming apart here. There's one scale, there's the other scales. There's the blade coming off. Careful not to cut yourself when you're doing this. This is just a linen shop rag, and this 91% rubbing alcohol. So I will get this rag wet with the rubbing alcohol, wipe everything down. Now, when you're cleaning these knives, you want to make sure to get, if you're like me, replacing the oil when you clean these knives. You want to get as much of the old oil off as possible. You want to get it off the blade, the washers, everywhere. These might be kind of long videos depending on the knife. This might be kind of long, so if you don't want to sit here for 20 minutes and watch me take apart a knife, you don't have to. These are not for everybody. I didn't clean this one. There we go. Oil I use a few different kinds of oil. I have a mineral oil that I use on some knives. For most of my knives, especially bearing knives, I use this stuff. It's a 10 weight silicone shock oil. I also have a 20 and a 30, or a 20 weight and a 35 weight, like that I use on assisted knives or washer knives, depending. There's different oils for different knives. Like with that M&P2, I actually just use mineral oil. Just this stuff. I just use mineral oil. It works a little better. And on this knife, I actually use mineral oil on the detent, which is this little ball right here. I put a drop on that. You can't see it, and I'm not zooming in because it takes forever on my phone. Now that's everything pretty much cleaned off. I need a Q-tip, some alcohol, just to clean in the pivot here, like this, and to get that off so I can clean underneath it. Those are just, there's one in this handle as well. They're just washers that the ball bearings ride on. So it gives it so the bearings aren't running on plastic. Just so the bearings don't run on plastic. I use my shirt a lot doing this too, just because it's nice to be able to do that now. Start getting this back together pretty quickly here. this away because I don't need it, and put this away and don't need it. Get the camera, my bad. Okay, here's the 10 weight oil. I assemble knives from the pivot side up. I stack the parts. It's a little easier to do that, but I will in this time. I do tend to over lubricate my knives. Makes them, for me, run a little better. This is the mineral oil here. Going a little drop in the tent hole and then on the blade here. Like that. And I don't use just mineral oil because it tends to dissipate pretty quickly. And the silicone oil lasts a little longer. And if you're doing bearing knives for the first time, you don't want to run them dry. You want to have a lubricant in there. Some knives, like knives on Teflon, you can run those dry and they'll run just fine. They'll run better with oil, but they'll run just fine. That right there is why I like these little needle bottles. These little needle bottles are Apex RC Products bottles. They're for doing like silicone shocks on RC cars. And they're great little bottles. They're good. They have nice thin needle. They're 1/2 ounce bottles, which is nice. You don't use too much oil. They're like $6 or $7 for 5 of them. I bought all of this stuff on Amazon, so just look it up on Amazon. The 10 weight is a team associated 10 weight. It's like $6 or $7 for 2 ounces. It's pretty cheap. It's cheaper than nano oil. Do this here. Put another drop here. And this is the hard part, getting this lined up. And so when I'm putting this together, if you have a Atmos, the smaller screw goes in the middle hole. I don't put Loctite on these screws. I do put Loctite on the pivot though, because that is the one that needs it, because that will back out. So that screw's slightly stripped out. Put a lid on this real quick. These also have the little silicone lids, so I'm doing this quickly so I don't make this video an hour long. And this is just blue Loctite. You don't want to use the red stuff. This is just blue thread locker. You don't want to use the red stuff because you can't get that stuff off without using heat. And with a knife with a G10 handle, you don't want to have to heat it up. So that goes in there. And then I close the knife while I'm doing this, so I get try to close the knife while I have the screw loose, so I can check for, show you this part here. Show you this part, this is kind of cool. As I tighten the screw, watch the blade. Moves into center. That's how you know it's tight. And then you want to check it for blade play, and if you have any wiggle, tighten the screw up. Solid, solid. Alright. So that is the first video cleaning, disassembling, and maintaining the Kershaw Atmos. The videos will get longer as the knives are more complicated. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.